just walk into a court and say, I want to file a lawsuit. And they're going to say, okay, just pay an $89 fee. What's the lawsuit for? I'm going to say, I'm just filing a lawsuit because of hackers. And they're going to say, okay, here you go. No, they're going to say, who are you suing? Somebody's getting sued. That's what lawsuit stands for. Because you made it, because you were making it sound like it was a matter of just trying to find the hackers. Now you're making it sound like this is an international crime spree thing. Do you know who's doing these crimes?
Right.
Well, David, you're not you gotta learn a lesson here. If you're gonna tell a lie, you have to remember and plan for the lie. A famous person named Samuel Clemens once said, don't tell lies, that way you don't have to remember everything. So along with that, you have to back the lie up with facts, or perceived facts.
Absolutely.
Or what they would sometimes call plausible denial. And unless I can provide that on an audit, I'm pretty much sticking my neck out and can go to prison. Tell them that I am purchasing servitude from the other party. They're going to become my servant, and I need servant paper. I need a proof of servitude, and that Jennifer, herein referred to as the master, and if their name is Stephen, will be herein referred to as the servant. And then we have to specify for how long they will be under my servitude. We have to do this in a way that won't be in the public eye. I need the fingerprints of the person and signed statements of their parents.
Thank you for getting connected. Geek Squad, you're speaking with James. How may I help you today?
Hello, James. This is Jennifer Clark. I have a call with Aaron Miller.
What can I help you with, ma'am?
Aaron and I were talking earlier while I was at work. I have an invoice for $245 that I need to cancel and get a refund on.
Can you repeat the amount?
$245.95.
245.99, correct?
That's correct. He gave,
let me see if it's available.
I called the main line. I was told to call his personal. Do you want me to call that number?
It's okay. No, it's completely fine. Let me have a look if he's available right now. Okay, then I'll just transfer the call. If he's not available, I'll be the one who's going to be helping you with the procedures, okay?
Oh, that'll be great. Thank you.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay.
Ma'am, Aaron is not available right now.
Okay, well, maybe you can help. You can help me. Can you help me?
Yeah, I can definitely look into it. First of all, can you tell me what happened and what kind of email you have received?
Well, it was an invoice, and it was an invoice that I received. I have the invoice number, and it was for $245.95.
Okay. Can you confirm me the last four digits or alphabet
can I
of the
put you on?
invoice number?
I need to put you on hold for a second. My mother's calling. Hello?
I believe that you told me they'll be back from the office, like from your job, and then I'm supposed to provide you with the details for the wire. Isn't that what we talked about?
Oh, David. It's David.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not used to. Yeah, I'm used to calling you David, not Dave.
Oh yeah, that I remember.
That's okay. No, that's completely fine. The reason why I make the distinction is I know a Dave Roberts at work, and so I also know a David Peterson, and so I made the mistake of calling Dave Roberts David and he got mad at me. So ever since, I make a distinction between David and Dave.
That's okay. You can call me whatever you find convenient. I'll
Okay.
start addressing myself to you as David. I have no problems with that.
Okay, David. What do we have? Do you have the new addresses?
Now, we did manage to arrange an account. We're gonna start off with a wire transfer, okay?
Oh, a wire transfer.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah,
yes, the wire
we can do
transfer.
a wire transfer.
Absolutely. So just to see how the bank's behavior is gonna be towards the wires, we do have a phone number. We do have the bank account's address
Oh, perfect.
associated,
Okay.
and then the amount which we're gonna do is about like 98,000. Like there is a safe amount of less than 100,000 when it goes to wire in the beginning. So we're
Okay.
keeping it a little less, making it a random amount. So it's gonna be 98,000. Okay.
Okay,
Now
that's perfect. Okay.
I am going to go ahead and forward you the details here. Give me a moment.
Okay. Do you mind if I set the phone down? I need to get a glass of water, David. It's been a hot day. I'm just going to set the phone down.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, honey. I'll be right back.
Okay, so this takes precedence, folks. This is it's at least a money mule. It might be a Hawala business, so that takes priority with whatever I do, because you never know if that other scammer would have produced anything. This would be the 5th mule that I'm getting from him, so it's a big deal.
I'll be able to look for that particular number. There it is there. And I'm going to say hello in text to you.
Yes, I just got that. Did you got my messages?
Well, I have, hi, this is Dave Parker. We're ready with the account today. I mean, if you want me to call you Dave, I can. I don't have a problem.
It's
But
a,
if you're more comfortable with Dave, I'll call you Dave.
no, I'm fine in whichever name you wanna pronounce me with. I have no problems with that. I'm okay with David. I'm okay with Dave. By the time it works for both of us, I'm perfectly fine.
Okay, I'll make a deal with you. If you can tell me the significance of the name David in the Holy Bible, I will call you David. If you cannot tell me, I will call you Dave.
Okay, let's stick to Dave then.
Okay, okay. So you don't read the Bible, I take it.
I just sent you a phone number here. Just confirm me if you get the bank details and phone number.
Okay, let me look. Yes, I do. I have it right there. Perfect. Okay. You gave me everything I
Now,
need. So,
absolutely. And there is one more thing. Let's just go ahead and discuss what we can use this account for. What's going to be the story and the reason behind the wire, right?
okay, the
Now, the
story.
account we've made, right
Okay,
now,
so
this is a holdings account.
it's a holdings
Okay.
account. Okay.
Are you a senior?
No, I'm close. So I'll be a senior in about 10 years. Why does it matter?
What I was thinking is that you could say that you're making this payment for like a retirement home you're planning, all right? But then this is not the right time for you to plan a retirement home according to the age.
No, it
What
would
we can say
be.
an investment with this housing firm, right? For some real estate purpose.
Oh, okay. I can see
Is
what
that
you're saying. So I'll just tell them it's an escrow payment for an investment in a housing complex.
say that there is an ongoing project going on in Europe itself, right? And you're one of the interested clients, and you're making an investment with them in one of the projects, right? Like for a particular place and home and everything, and then you're making one of the payments for 98,000, and that's any one of the payment terms, because so that we could use the same account if needed in future also, because
Okay.
houses in New York are not that cheap, right? Like we cannot expect to get a house in New York for 98,000, a decent one. So it might
Right.
goes up to like 250 to 300,000 as well
Okay,
sometimes,
so now
depending on the locality and
this
everything.
is what I'm gonna have to be ready for. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but as a rule, and it tells you right on the 8300 form, a certain percentage
Yes.
of those forms are audited. Okay, if it were to
Mhm.
be audited, and they see that it's a real estate investment, they're gonna want to know certain things like the realtor licensee, the deed of trust, things like that. Are you going to be able to furnish that information to me if I need to supply it?
That'll be a little difficult. I'm being honest with you.
Okay, because
Okay.
if I don't furnish that and I
Mhm.
persist, I could be convicted of perjury, and that's a mandatory sentence of at least 2 years in prison. Um,
See, let me
so
clarify one thing here. Sorry I'm interrupting you in between. I totally understand what you're saying, but I just really want you to keep one thing in the mind. I don't know
that
when they're gonna do the investigation part and everything, but like when all of this is settled, right?
Well,
When the court,
David, you're not you gotta learn a lesson here. If you're gonna tell a
yes.
lie, you have to
Mhm.
remember and plan for the lie. A famous person named Samuel Clemens once said, "Don't tell lies,
Mhm.
that way you don't have to remember everything." So along with that, you have to back the lie up with facts or perceived facts,
Absolutely.
or what they would sometimes call plausible denial. And unless I can provide that on an audit, I'm pretty much
Uh,
sticking my neck out and can get
Absolutely.
can go to prison.
Definitely. But that's the reason I'm making this
Why
statement
can't
here.
we just state that I'm transferring money to filter out
Okay.
security? I'm transferring the money in an effort to
Okay.
subvert an attack by hackers. I mean, that's really what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. No, no, no. See, I'll tell you one thing. The moment we're gonna
Honey,
go ahead and talk
hackers,
hacking,
the world of hacking is in the news almost daily. Any bank would understand that. They would say,
absolutely,
no one wants to get
understand.
hacked.
They're definitely gonna treat the entire process accordingly. Then, once you're gonna say that you're under an attack,
But the fact
then you
is,
cannot expect any.
Dave,
Yes.
you're telling me to tell a lie. You're telling me to commit perjury. That's what the form says. By penalty of perjury, you declare that what you say is true and correct. That's what it's.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
I just want to ask one thing. When's gonna audit happen? Like
That's
at
a,
the
that's
time of
a
audit.
that's a great unknown. See, if they told you you were going to be audited, then people would go the extra mile to come up with plausible deniability, and they would plan around that. But instead, they'd have that as a type of unknown cause and effect, or an unknown penalty for trying to do what they're after. They're after money laundering. Okay, that's why the IRS
No,
does that. So that's why
absolutely.
they have a penalty of perjury.
So this audit you're talking about, like you're talking about that annual audit, right? Which
No,
happens,
not an annual
correct?
audit. This is where out of every 100 wire transfers, they might sample 20 or probably 10. With the new increase of IRS agents, I'm certain that they're going to audit a higher percentage of them. But they can audit every single one if they wish, or they can only audit every now and then. They might have a certain amount that they might audit for. Like anything above 20,000, they might go into a certain pool that increases the likelihood of an audit. I don't know how the IRS works. They never tell you. If they did, if they said, for example, we'll audit everything over 60,000, everyone would try to sneak in 50,000. See, that's why they don't tell you.
Okay, so if you buying something as a real estate, would need you to present certain documents, and that's evident as well, and I understand. Okay,
Right.
let me finish up my
There's a
thing.
realtor who has a license. Okay. Then there's the
Please.
escrow. The escrow would have a type of certificate number in order for it to be qualified as escrow. They do that because
Absolutely.
they don't want a bank seizure to affect your money in escrow. It protects you. Next layer of protection at a bank.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you on that part. First of all, the point I was trying to make over here is that the thing is that right now we are in no position to disclose the current status of the situation, because if it's disclosed that you're under attack, so you cannot expect to make any transfers anywhere. Your money will be seized in the current accounts only, which you have, right? And they could anytime be attacked under the provision, because we don't know
Okay.
what
Well,
kind of information
you need
people
to
have
give
on
me
you.
a bona fide and lawful reason for me to make this transfer
Right.
that I can
So
attest
let's
to, and be protected from should an audit occur.
right. Absolutely. So let's say this, that rather than you making a real estate purchase or anything, you can simply say that like it's a housing firm and you're making investment with them.
Again,
Like
but
investment.
in order for the investment to be held in a type of bond, there will be a licensee, a person who's a broker, for example, who will take in the
Mhm.
investment and convert it into the stocks or bonds that would
Mhm.
fund the investment. It goes into a
Right.
banking structure and it will have a legal document that I could prove in court that I own such investment. They'll want to see that. It'll
Okay.
have a
So
seal.
just to answer your question, that at the time of audit, if it boils down that it may gonna lead into a legal action against you, at that point in time, on this recorded phone line, we can assure you that this is a part of an ongoing federal investigation. So all the supporting documents claiming that we are the one who suggested you to make the transfer with this reason, just to avoid any seizure of your account, just to avoid your accounts from being frozen. We've asked you to do this. We present recording
You'll
as
pre-
well
you'll
with the
present me with the
of the court.
documents.
Yes, at that time,
Okay,
at the time of
okay.
audit,
I
as
need to
per
see those. I need to see those documents first. I just need to see a scan of the documents. Once I see that, I'll keep that in my own records, and then I can make that
Mhm.
transfer in full earnesty. See, knowing that I'm protected by the evidence.
Let me tell you how does this is going to work at that point in time. Uh, this is going to work this way. Let's say when we're going to initiate the audit.
Dave, you are a really, really lousy liar. I suggest you take my advice, get with your people, and tell them that we need to supply Jennifer with supporting documents. It's not that hard. And besides, what you're doing is a legitimate service to help me evade the hackers. Surely that in and of itself has some
Yeah,
kind of
okay,
certification or
uh,
some
just
kind of charter.
see, I'll
Um,
tell you. There is one thing you need to understand, that this is not a normal situation, right? We are not over here selling you a security service for which you can pay and say that I'm buying a security here, right? That's not the kind of transaction we are in right now. It is an unorthodox situation right now, which needs unorthodox means to secure your money. I totally understand that you do
Dave,
need
I
documents.
could go to
I'm promising
prison.
you.
I could go to
Mhm.
prison. I can go to prison if I don't do this correctly. Especially now with Russia attacking Ukraine and there's lots of terrorists who are laundering money right now. They're looking for people
Mhm.
who are trying to launder money.
But then your money is not going to be sitting there forever and you won't get a hold of your money back ever again. You need to understand one thing here, and please do remember this during the process also, that this is a transfer which we are doing. It is a part of an ongoing federal investigation. Then we're going to dispute this money, file a lawsuit against the people who are culprit of this. Your new social security will be issued so that you could use it with your new bank accounts, keep your money and use it to invest it wherever you want. This is a momentary actions we need to take to first of all safeguard your money to a secure place so that we can finish up with the lawsuit part, have a court's order in hand which will claim that these people, the PLC support who attacked you, are the
Okay.
people, are the
Well,
people
then,
who have to do
then
these.
I need copies of those court documents. That'll be my protection. Can you give me the dockets and the pleadings and all those other things? It's only gonna.
Document.
Well, there's likely to be a subpoena that I will need a copy of. Then I'll need the court docket and the signed warrant by the judge. So that's 3 documents. Those are things that you should have already.
File of that entire document and all
I need to
supporting
have those
documents.
at my disposal, and then I'll make this wire transfer, and I'll claim that I'm following the order of a court, and then we'll be done with it, and I can just send the money.
Okay. See, I'll be very honest with you. Those the documents you're demanding right now will definitely be handed over to you, but this is
Okay.
the lawsuit which
So
the
so once I have
filed
once I have those documents, I'll go down to my bank and do the wire transfer.
provided to you at the closure of the case.
And I'm not budging until I'm not going to engage into what could perceive as a grand larceny, money laundering thing from the eyes of the government unless I can prove to them that I was doing it with legal purpose. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And I agree with you on that part, but then you have to show certain amount of trust with the situation. You need to understand one thing, one way or the other, you're gonna lose the money if the hackers would take it. It is in your head that they can't take your money from the accounts you have your money in right now.
David,
Your money
I'm covered by FDIC.
for
Okay,
how much? That's what
bank theft.
the last as well.
I have split my money into numerous $200,000 accounts. FDIC covers up to $200,000 due to bank theft and disaster. I'm covered by hackers.
I don't understand one thing. Like it's
Insurance
been
will
about a
pay
week,
me.
it's fine.
If the money were to disappear, seriously, if the money were to disappear mysteriously, I would be at the bank talking to the manager saying, what happened to my money? And they said, it just suddenly was taken out. It looks like it was routed to this. Oh my gosh, somebody erroneously or illegally took your money. Look, we're going to get that money back for you. And then when they say they can't, I'm going to say, I'm covered. And they say, yes, you are by FDIC. And they'll say, thank goodness you split it. They'll say you split it up into $200,000 limits on each account. I'm protected.
You won't be entertained in that situation because you're already a part of a federal investigation. You've been guided the way out to get out of this situation, and you choose to risk your money.
I'm part of an investigation. Who's investigating me?
Nobody. You're part of the investigation running on the attack which is planned on you on your money.
Okay, well, honey, I'm protected, but I'm protected by FDIC. You didn't know that?
Then why do you just want to do these transfers if you already know that your money is safe? Tell me.
Because
What
you
is the
made it.
purpose of talking?
Because you were making it sound like it was a matter of just trying to find the hackers. Now you're making it sound like this is an international crime spree thing. Do you know who's doing these crimes? Who's committing these crimes? Who's behind this conspiracy? Who?
PLC support. This is the name of the company.
Well, then they should be charged.
Absolutely. So we have to go ahead and submit the proofs accordingly. Why are you making these transactions? You're going to make the transaction. Explain to you.
Okay. No, you need to give. When I submit that money, I need to have supporting documentation that I'm doing it legally. If I can't show that and I get audited they will send me to prison. I don't deserve to go to prison. I'm simply trying to live my life. I'm trying to work into my retirement.
Okay, let me rephrase the situation to you and let me give you a reason why we are making these transactions and
Okay.
why the transactions do look shady to you, okay? That's what your question is
No,
basically.
they don't
These
look
trans-
shady. They just don't have any purpose. I don't have any way of
Okay,
explaining them.
I'll tell you that. See, we have already filed a lawsuit and then in order to go ahead and accomplish that,
Okay, you
right,
filed
we
a
need
you filed a lawsuit. That's a good start. When you file a lawsuit, it's going to have a docket and several case notes that would be done in a
yes.
court. You can't file the lawsuit without there being case notes and numbers. I'd like to have copies of those. There's going to be
I'm sorry that
subpoenas. There's going to be subpoenas. And it's public
there are all
record.
those
It's public record. I can just tell me the court. I can even go look it up and get it.
see this lawsuit has been filed to assist you with the situation through our legal team.
Who's
You
being
don't want me
sued? Who's being
team.
sued?
Please hear me out. Please hear me out, Jennifer.
In
I
order
am
to
here to help you.
in order for there to be a lawsuit, there has to be a plaintiff and a defendant. Who's the defendant?
Questioned about anything because you are not the one who proactively went ahead and filed a lawsuit against us.
Dave, you don't just walk into a court and say, I want to file a lawsuit. And they're going to say, okay, just pay an $89 fee. What's the lawsuit for? I'm going to say, I'm just filing a lawsuit because of hackers. And they're going to say, okay, here you go. No, they're going to say, who are you suing? Somebody's getting sued. That's what lawsuit stands for.
The whole purpose of making these transactions is that once these transactions are completed, we're going to present into the court saying that this PLC support, this fraud company,
So
made
it's
you
called
do
PLC.
these.
TLC, is it T as in Thomas? And then LC?
Yes,
TLC
yes.
support. Where are they located?
Voorhees.
Where?
Voorhees. That's in New Jersey.
So it's in New Jersey. You have the address and all that. So they had to get papers served in order for them to go to court, in order for the lawsuit to take place. So there's paperwork that you can give to me.
The paperwork can only be handed over to you at the end of the particular lawsuit. At the end
If
of the
if I'm party to a lawsuit, I'm
Yes.
entitled to have that paperwork.
Yeah, that's when there is no federal investigation going on. Currently,
Okay,
there is a
okay.
federal investigation going on. We cannot
It's a
provide
federal investigation.
Yes,
Okay, so
absolutely.
which court?
From last
What is the court master? Who's the court master?
All those documents will definitely be provided to you at the right time, whether you believe me or not. It's been last
So
2
does
weeks
the
that
court
we
is the court is the court
Please hear me.
aware that I'm making this transfer?
Yes, obviously.
Then there's a court order. There will be a
Yeah,
court
there is-
order. I want to see it. I want to see the
don't
judge.
understand.
It'll be an order by a court, and a judge will sign it. I want to see the signed order.
Your demands are not
Dave,
valid. They are
Dave, do you even know what a court is? What court means? What consists of a lawsuit? And how they're conducted in the United States?
we had the other day.
You do know there's a judge, usually in a preliminary hearing, and if it needs it, it might go to jury. There will be 12 people that act as a kind of judge.
I just have one question to ask.
There's a discovery. Is discovery been made? Who's the discovery attorneys?
Just one question I have to ask you.
What?
Just one question.
What's
We're
the question?
discussing to do these wires from last 2 weeks. If you needed all these documentations in order to do the wire, why didn't you told me that about 2 weeks ago? That I would
Well,
only be
because
able to do this.
Dave, I've been talking I've been talking to my bank, telling them that I need to send money, and they said the best way to do it is to have backing documentation in case there is an audit. You can have something to show. We have such documentation, and I would like to have it.
I'm saying the same
You've
thing. We're gonna take care of.
You've plaintively stated there's a court case, there's a lawsuit. You stated that the plaintiff is in Voorhees, New Jersey. This should be stuff
No, you have to
can.
understand things. If
What?
you're gonna, just going ahead and making things difficult for
Okay,
yourself.
either
You
get
have
me
to
the
show some.
get me the paperwork, and then I'll send the money. That's my final word.
You don't understand one thing. You're not doing
Good.
this for me. You're gonna do it for
Goodbye.
yourself.
Goodbye.
Absolutely.
Oh Lord, Dave. Dave.
Let me put a closure to the conversation. So what you basically establishing here is, in order for you to do any transaction, you need all kind of backing documents for that. Until that is not provided, you're not pursuing with any transaction, not a wire, not a cashier's check, nothing, right?
Honey, something tells me you're not crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Something tells me you don't even really know what a courtroom is and what courtroom processes are, let alone the terminology or even the beginnings of what legal documentation is. You don't understand. Do you know what a notarized? Do you, David? Dave, do you know what a notarized public document is? Notarized document is?
I told you that the very
Do
beginning
you
of the when.
do you know what it
No,
means? Do you know what it means to get
Yeah.
something notarized?
I'm not here to prove what I know and what I don't. All right.
Because you don't know
We've done that.
anything, Dave. You don't know a thing. You're
When I
babbling.
start making.
You're not making sense. You're not making sense.
I don't think so that you're thinking this with a stable mind. I'm telling you this.
It's not a stable mind.
Think-
It's almost $100,000. My
Agreed with you on
God.
that part.
My
You
God.
told me documentations before. I would have arranged them first and then called you. I've arranged an account. The company is waiting for a wire to come. They've given the phone number. Everything is arranged. Now you're seeking documents. It would be really better if you would have told me that please call
You
me
know what?
only when
Okay,
you-
then what I will do is call that number and get the docket and court information from them, because in order for them to be a valid receiver, they have to be privy and knowledgeable about the lawsuit. Since I can't get it from you, I'll call the person at the bank.
Okay, I just want to ask one thing here, which is really important for me to know. See, I can totally establish that in order for us to do any wire transfer to an entity, let's say if you're sending it to a friend or you investing it in a company, you do need supporting documents. And if you can't say that you're sending this money to a friend, $98,000 is a very high amount of money to
It
help
is.
a friend. So that
It is.
doesn't
It
make sense.
is. It is. Yeah.
So, what do you say? Shall we go ahead and skip the part of wire and try and arrange a cashier's check clearing account for you so that no question should be asked and you can directly issue a cashier's check to the company, physically mail them?
I still have to fill out an 8300 form. It's
Yes,
the fact that it's
that's
above
exactly.
10,000. The fact that it's more than 10,000 means
Phone number will be
8300
given to you
form.
for that.
What?
Phone number will be given to you that. Phone number will be given to you that. So that the bank can verify by
I-
calling on the number.
I still have to explain why I'm doing it, and I have to have the supporting documentation.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to the team, and
Okay.
we're gonna go ahead and make this workable in a manner that you can back your statement, you can back your
Okay.
claims at the
I just need to have
question.
the person's name and their address and a phone number, and I'll get a certified check. And I just need to have
Yes.
valid documentation to back it up, and we'll go that route.
You tell me, what do you think that we could say that this transaction is for this particular reason, which needs the minimalistic of the
Okay.
documentations?
Tell them that I am purchasing servitude from the other party. They're going to become my servant, and I need servant
Okay.
paper. I need a proof of servitude, and that Jennifer, herein referred to as the master, and if their name is Stephen, will be herein referred to as the servant. And then we have to specify for how long they will be under my servitude. We have to do this in a way that won't be in the public eye. I need the fingerprints of the person and signed statements of their parents.
Fingerprints
Yes.
for the receiving party.
Right. And in trade, I will supply a list of duties that this servant will provide for me during the period.
And what kind of services are we looking for? Like, do you have in your mind? What
I'm
kind
gonna
of
have.
services can justify of
Well,
about 300 or 400?
Well, I'm gonna have them keep my room clean, my kitchen clean. They're gonna clean toilets. They're gonna go shopping for me, and they'll just do whatever I tell them. Rub my
And you're
feet,
gonna
give me foot
do you
baths.
really think that justify a transfer of $300,000 for that
I,
service?
I would have to have them good for 10 years, at least. And they have to promise that they're gonna have to be, okay, it's very important that they be sterilized because I can't very well have them have children.
Oh my goodness, this is insane. Okay, you need fingerprints for them.
Well, the
What is
fingerprints
that?
are the fingerprints so we can run a criminal background check. I don't want to let a person into my household if that's what they'll think. Why would I let a person in my household without doing
I
a
hope
fingerprint check?
realize- I hope that you realize that if you actually looking for this kind of service, then you actually leave your money with these people.
Oh no, no, you don't understand. We're making it look like I'm doing it, but I'm not really getting the servant. I would never
Yeah,
enslave a person. I would never do that.
I understand that, but then these things doesn't matter then whether they are sterilized or not. You're not going to take ownership of their children and all of that because it won't be there anywhere. And why do you need to run a criminal
Okay,
check if you really don't have the service?
okay,
This
well
is
then
what my question is.
we need to think of something else. You come up with an idea. I'm giving you good ideas.
Give me a few days, okay?
Okay, okay,
And I'm gonna go ahead and run through with this with the team. We're gonna come up with a reasoning which can easily be justified with supporting documents which can
okay,
justify such a high amount of a cashier's check
okay,
going to an entity, and then we'll go ahead and see which way we could go. And as soon as I have that, I will definitely go ahead and call you and
okay.
let you know that this is the update on that. Today is Monday, I believe. So
Yes, it's
around
Monday.
Thursday or Friday, I'll be calling you to give you a heads up on what we've decided, if there is already something arranged or not, or if it's gonna take a little longer. Okay,
Okay,
and at least this much time we need. So hopefully expect a call from me on Thursday or Friday. All right. So same
okay,
way, I'm gonna leave you first, and then around 4 I'll speak to you. All right.
okay. That works out. I'll look forward to talking to you, Dave.
Definitely. All
All
right
right.
then. Let me go ahead and discuss the same with the team. Thank you
Okay,
very much for giving us your menu inputs, and I do duly understand the demands, and I'm surely gonna go ahead and work on that and get back to you. All right?
okay, okay. You got a deal. Talk to you Thursday or
Great.
Friday. Bye bye.
Definitely. Thank you very much, and have a good
Okay.
day ahead. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye
Take
bye.
care.
Bye bye. Bye bye.